Have you ever noticed how a single thought, a single moment, it can shift your entire perspective? Have you ever felt a sudden wave of clarity, a realization so deep it changes how you see the world? As you think about that now, can you remember a time when you felt absolutely certain, a moment when you knew without hesitation that something was true for you? A time when you believed in something so completely it shaped your reality. As you access that feeling, that sense of knowing, that inner certainty, I wonder, have you ever considered that belief? Just like memories, they're flexible. That just as easily as you can recall a time of absolute confidence, you can also recognize how belief, once unquestioned, can shift and evolve. Was there ever a time when you believed something only later to discover a new perspective? A time when you once thought one way, only to realize something deeper, perhaps more profound? That same process, the one that allows beliefs to evolve, is happening now. When you think about it, can you really be sure that the belief you've held on to for so long is the only truth? Or is it possible, just possible, that there's another way to see it? Because as you consider that now, have you ever felt a sudden moment of insight, a realization that what once seemed unchangeable was actually fluid all along? And if that's true, then what else might be possible? As you reflect on that, it is interesting how the mind, it naturally seeks connections. How the feelings you recall, the emotions you access, they become the foundation of something new. So if you were to take that feeling, that memory of certainty, of strength, of knowing, and attach it to a new idea, a new belief, what would happen? Because you see, the mind doesn't just store beliefs, it builds them, shapes them, reinforces them. And sometimes all it takes is the right question, the right moment, to allow a shift to occur effortlessly. And so I wonder, what happens when you let go of that old belief and allow something better to take its place? When you think about it, isn't it fascinating how quickly and effortlessly you can recognize things that once held you back? They no longer have to. As you realize this now, can you feel that shift happening? That feeling of release, of expansion, of opening to something new. You might be wondering, how deep can this go? How far can you take it? Because the more you consider it, the more it becomes clear. The more it integrates, the more your mind begins to accept this new reality. When you do, doesn't it just feel right? Maybe you've already begun to feel that shift. Maybe you've already noticed that something inside started to change. Or maybe, just maybe, that change has already happened. And your unconscious mind is simply waiting for the perfect moment to let you fully realize it. When you think about it now, what do you notice? What do you feel? What do you realize now? That your mind continues to process this, absorbing, integrating, transforming. I wonder, what happens next? What new possibilities are opening up for you? Here's how you can use this script. Begin with the "Have you ever" question. This command directs the listener's mind to search for a relevant memory. It forces them to recall an emotional state. It brings that feeling into the present moment. Then follow with a meta-model question. Once the emotion is active, challenge their current belief by questioning it. Use a phrase like, "Can you really be sure that that's the only way to see it? Is that belief always true in every situation? How do you know that for certain?" This destabilizes the rigid thinking, and it creates an opening for change. Then you can introduce a sleight of mouth reframe. You can shift their perspective by introducing a new way of seeing the belief. For example, the belief, "I always fail." The reframe, "Isn't it interesting how every failure has led you to learn and to grow?" Then you can use Ericksonian language for an installation. By speaking in vague, hypnotic terms, you can deepen the new belief. You can put in embedded suggestions like, as you think about this now, you might naturally begin to integrate. Perhaps you've already begun to realise. And you can end with a pattern interrupt question. This disrupts the analytical mind and it locks in the change. For example, when you think about it, what do you notice? What do you realise now? You loop the process. Begin with a new have you ever. Elicit a new emotional state. Challenge it. Reframe it. Install and interrupt. Master this technique and you'll have the power to reshape beliefs effortlessly, won't you?